Once upon a time, Amara was a young woman with sharp eyes, a proud walk, and a strong mind. She had graduated from the university, and unlike many people her age, she already had a good job in the city. Her apartment was small but neat. Her clothes were always clean, and her phone never stopped buzzing with calls and messages. People who knew Amara said she was brilliant. She read books, she argued about politics, she worked late into the night, and she could talk about almost anything. If you asked her about history, she would tell you names and dates. If you asked about money, she would explain business. She liked being smart, and she liked when people noticed. But there was something about her that made life difficult. Amara was rude. She always wanted to be in charge. She didn't listen to advice. If you tried to tell her what to do, she would snap at you. If you told her to calm down, she would roll her eyes and say, "Please, don't tell me nonsense." Because of this, she had lost many friends. People didn't stay close to her for long. She also had trouble with men. Amara had been in 7 relationships, and all of them had ended badly. She would argue, she would shout, she would walk away, and the men would give up. Sometimes she told herself she hated men. Other times she told herself she liked them. She never knew exactly how she felt, but she always said, "I'm young, I'm successful, and I don't need anyone to control me." That was Amara, proud, smart, rude, and stubborn. One morning, a letter came. It was her posting letter for youth service. Every graduate had to serve the country for 1 year, and she had been waiting for this. When she opened the letter and read the name of the place, her heart sank. "What?" she shouted. "A village? They sent me to a village in the west. This must be a joke." She picked up her phone and called a friend. "Hello, Kioma. Can you believe this? They posted me to a village, a real village. Not even a small town. A village where goats and chickens walk on the road." Kioma laughed on the other side. "Amara, calm down. It won't be that bad. Just go and try." "Try what?" Amara screamed. "Do they know who I am? Do they know how hard I worked in school? How can they post me to a bush? Me? Amara!" But no matter how much she shouted, the letter didn't change. She had to go. When Amara arrived in the village, her face twisted like she had eaten something bitter. The road was dusty. The houses were small and made of mud and wood. Children ran around without shoes. Old women carried firewood on their heads. "What is this place?" she muttered. "So local, so dirty. God, why me?" She dragged her box along the rough road, and every step made her more annoyed. At the camp office, she tried to ask for redeployment. She wanted to be transferred to a city. She begged, she explained, and when one of the men in charge said, "Young lady, calm down and wait your turn," Amara snapped. "Excuse me, don't talk to me like that. I know my rights. If you cannot do your job properly, then don't sit there." The man frowned and said, "Fine. If you want to be rude, then forget about redeployment. You will stay right here." That was how Amara lost her chance. Her mouth had ruined it for her again. She finally found a small apartment to rent. The roof leaked in one corner. The window had no glass, only a rusty net. The bathroom was outside, shared with neighbors. When she closed the door that night, she sat on the bed and cried. "This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me," she sobbed. "Why will God allow me to come here? How will I live in this bush for 1 whole year?" She looked around. There was no light. The bulb on the ceiling was just hanging there, useless. She struck a match and lit a candle. The shadows danced on the wall, and she shivered. When she wanted to drink water, she discovered there was none. She later learned that the people fetched water from a stream, and the water was always brown. She stared at the dirty water and shook her head. "Amara, this is your life now," she whispered to herself. The next morning, when the cock crowed at dawn, Amara woke up tired. She held her head and sighed. Why did they post me here? Why not Lagos? Why not Abuja? Why here? She stood in front of the mirror, touched her hair, and said, "You must be strong. It is only for a few months. You can survive anything." But deep down, she was scared. Week passed. Time moved slowly. The days were hot, the nights were dark, and the village was quiet. Amara began to know the roads, the market, and the people. But she didn't make friends. She didn't like the villagers. She called them names in her mind. Local people, bush people, illiterates. She never joined them to talk. When they tried to greet her, she answered coldly and walked away. Some young women in the village whispered about her. That corper, she is too proud. She thinks we are not human. Let her be. She will learn one day. Amara didn't care. She preferred to stay in her room, read books, and scroll on her phone whenever there was network. There was one thing Amara hated most: fetching water. She didn't like going to the stream. The sun was too hot in the day, and she didn't want people looking at her. So she always waited until evening, when the sky was turning dark. One such evening, she carried her bucket to the stream. The path was narrow, with tall grass on both sides. Crickets chirped, frogs croaked, and fireflies blinked their tiny lights. Amara walked quickly, her slippers making soft sounds on the ground. That was when she saw her. An old woman stood by the roadside, leaning on a crooked stick. Her wrapper was faded, and her eyes looked tired but kind. She saw Amara and smiled. "My daughter," the old woman called softly. Amara pretended not to hear. She kept walking. "My daughter," the woman called again, louder this time. Amara stopped and turned, her face full of disgust. "What is it, Mama?" she asked sharply. The woman pointed to the stream. "My daughter, going to fetch water at this time of night is not good. It is dangerous. A lot of evil things happen near the stream when the sun goes down. Please, do not go there alone again." Before the woman could finish her words, Amara hissed loudly, "Mind your business, Mama. I know what I'm doing." Then she turned, lifted her bucket, and walked away without looking back. One evening, when the sun had gone down and the air was already cool, Amara carried her bucket again. She tied a scarf on her head and stepped outside, walking quickly toward the lonely stream. She liked going when it was dark, even though people warned her many times. She said she preferred it because there were fewer eyes watching her. But this night was different. As soon as she stepped into the narrow path that led to the stream, she saw a crowd. Young boys were laughing and running. Women stood in groups whispering. Men gathered under a big tree, talking in low voices. Everyone's eyes turned toward her at the same time. She felt their gaze and frowned. "Why are they looking at me like that?" she muttered under her breath. She straightened her shoulders and walked proudly, but inside she was confused. Just then, a young man stepped forward. His shirt was torn at the shoulder, and he carried a lantern. She stopped and glared at him. And why not? He shifted uncomfortably, as if afraid she would shout at him. "Tomorrow is our New Yam festival. The masquerades will come out tonight to prepare. The stream path is not safe. Please wait until morning." Amara rolled her eyes. "I came to fetch water, not to dance around with masks." The boy tried again. "It's dangerous, please. Leave me alone." Amara snapped, cutting him off. She hissed loudly, lifted her bucket, and walked past him without another word. The people shook their heads. "She will learn the hard way," an old man whispered. "Pride goes before a fall," another woman said, clutching her wrapper. But Amara didn't care. By the time she reached the stream, it was very late. The moon was hiding behind thick clouds, and the air felt heavy. The water in the stream looked darker than usual, almost black. She dipped her bucket and filled it quickly. As she lifted the heavy bucket, she muttered, "See, nothing happened. These villagers are always exaggerating. They fear their own shadows." She began the long walk back home. At first, everything was quiet. Then, she felt something cold brush against her hand. She froze. "What was that?" she whispered, looking around. The trees swayed slowly. The grass rustled, but she saw nothing. Her heart beat faster. She told herself, "I am not afraid. If I see anything evil, I will fight it. Nothing can happen to me." She forced her legs to move. Minutes later, as she walked deeper into the dark path, she heard it. "Amara, Amara." The voice was soft, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. She stopped. Her bucket shook in her hand. She turned around quickly. "Who is there?" she shouted. Silence. Only the sound of crickets answered her. She breathed deeply. "Maybe I imagined it." She walked again. "Amara, Amara." This time it was louder. Her legs trembled, but her mouth was stubborn. "Show yourself. I am not scared. I am Amara. If you try nonsense, I will deal with you." She took a few more steps, holding her bucket tightly. Suddenly, she saw a light in the distance. It was small at first, like a star. Then it grew bigger, brighter, coming toward her. Relief washed over her. Finally, someone with a lantern. Maybe it's just another villager. She walked faster, but as the light came closer, a deep voice thundered from behind it. And what is a woman doing outside at this time of night? Amara stopped in her tracks. The light shook, then steadied. The voice continued, rough and commanding. If you don't turn back and run to where you came from, you will regret what your eyes are about to see. Instead of fear, Amara felt anger rise. She straightened her back, smirked, and said, "I'm going nowhere. Who are you to command me? I want to see what you can do." Before she could blink, something leaped out of the bush with a loud cry. Whoosh shoosh! A tall figure covered in raffia and red cloth landed in front of her. Its face was hidden behind a carved wooden mask. In its hand was a long cane that looked like it could cut through skin. It swung the cane at her legs. Whip! Pain shot through her body. But instead of running, Amara's pride boiled over. "You think you can scare me?" she shouted. The masquerade raised its cane again, but this time Amara grabbed it with both hands. With surprising strength, she pulled it away and began lashing the masquerade back. Whip! 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 The creature staggered, shocked that a woman dared to fight it. Amara's eyes blazed with anger. She shouted, "You're nothing but a man hiding in costume. You have no power over me." But before she could celebrate, the bushes around her shook. 1, 2, 3. More masquerades stepped out, their bodies swaying, their canes raised. Then 5, then 7, their heavy feet stomping the earth. They surrounded her, chanting in low, strange voices. Amara's breath quickened. This is too much. She swung the cane wildly, hitting one, then another, but they kept coming. Their chants grew louder, and their eyes glowed strangely in the dark. Fear finally stabbed her heart. She turned and ran, her bucket forgotten on the path. The sound of rattling and chanting followed her, but somehow, she reached her compound safely. When she got home, she slammed her door shut and leaned against it, panting. Sweat dripped down her face. Her hands shook, but then she laughed weakly. "Masquerades have no power over me. I fought them, and I survived. They are just ordinary people." She tried to sleep, but the images haunted her. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw masked faces jumping out of the bushes. She tossed and turned until morning. The next day, the village buzzed with whispers. "Did you hear? Someone fought with a masquerade last night. They said the person even collected the cane. Ah, whoever it is will not live." Nobody fights masquerades and remains alive. The people gathered at the market square, shaking their heads in fear. Amara sat nearby, pretending to buy tomatoes, listening with one ear. One old man spoke loudly. "The ancestors are angry. The one who touched a masquerade will die within 3 months. It has always been so." A woman added, "Not even medicine can save such a person. The gods don't forgive insults." Amara's heart skipped a beat. She looked away quickly so no one would see her face. Inside, her chest tightened. 3 months? Die? No, no. It can't be me. I'm not from here. Their gods have no power over me. She lifted her chin and told herself, "Nothing will happen to me. I am different." But in the pit of her stomach, fear refused to leave. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Each time Amara saw masquerades from afar, she remembered that night. Each time someone mentioned the curse, her heart skipped. But nothing happened to her. She continued her service here, doing her work, marking time, waiting for the end. Finally, the day came, her passing out parade. She wore her white and khaki uniform, smiling proudly as she collected her certificate. She looked at the other corps members dancing and laughing. In her heart, she said, "See, I told them. Nothing happened. Their masquerades are powerless. I am still alive, stronger than ever." That evening, she packed her bags. She didn't look back as she left the village. The city lights welcomed her once again, and with that, Amara closed the chapter of her service year, smiling to herself as if she had won a secret battle. Amara was back in the city, and she behaved like nothing had ever happened in the village. She laughed loudly, wore her best clothes, and visited every party she heard about. If there was a wedding, Amara was there. If there was a birthday, she showed up. If her friends called her to hang out at night, she ran to join them. She told herself, "Life is short. I will enjoy it." That village is behind me. I don't care about their masquerades or their curses. I am free." Her neighbors sometimes shook their heads when they saw her coming home late at night. Her shoes in her hands, her makeup smeared. But Amara didn't care. She believed she was untouchable. One night, she went to a party that lasted until dawn. There was loud music, bright lights, and dancing. Amara danced until her legs hurt, and she laughed until her throat was dry. When she finally returned home, she was too tired to even change her clothes. She collapsed on her bed and slept deeply. The morning sun crept into her room through the curtains. Birds chirped outside. Amara opened her eyes slowly, stretching her arms. But then she froze. Her right hand felt heavy. She tried to lift it, but it didn't move. Panic began to rise in her chest. She quickly turned to get out of bed, but when she tried to stand, her right leg refused to move too. Her heart raced. "What is happening?" she whispered. She tried again. Her left hand and leg worked, but the right side of her body was weak like wood. She reached for her phone with her left hand, tears filling her eyes. She dialed her mother's number. "Mama, Mama, it's me," she cried when her mother answered. "I can't walk. I can't move one side of my body. Mama, I'm scared." Her mother's voice shook. "Stay calm, my daughter. I am coming right now. Don't cry. God is with you." When Mama Amara arrived, she rushed into the room, her wrapper loose from running. "My child," she cried, holding her. "What happened? When did this start?" "This morning," Amara whispered, tears rolling down her face. "I just woke up, and my hand and leg, they don't move." Without wasting time, her mother found help, and together they carried Amara into a car. People watched with pity as they rushed her to the hospital. At the hospital, nurses placed Amara on a bed. Doctors examined her, took her blood, and sent her for different tests. Amara watched the machines beep and the nurses write notes. She hoped they would find the problem and give her medicine that would fix her quickly. But when the results came back, the doctors shook their heads. "There is nothing wrong with this young woman," one doctor said firmly. "Her body is fine. Her blood is fine. Her brain is fine. Maybe she is pretending." Amara's eyes widened. "Pretending? You think I want to sit here like this? I can't walk." Her mother held her hand and glared at the doctor. "My child is not lying. Something is wrong, but you doctors cannot see it." They carried Amara back home, her heart full of fear and confusion. The next morning, Mama Amara sat by her daughter's bed. She wiped her eyes and said, "My child, I will go to the forest today. I will search for herbs. Maybe the leaves and roots our fathers used long ago will heal you. But I cannot leave you alone. Call one of your friends to come and stay with you until I return." Amara looked down at her phone. She scrolled through her contacts. One by one, she dialed numbers. "Hello, can you come stay with me for a while?" she asked one friend. Amara, I am busy," the friend replied quickly. Another friend said, "I'm not around." Another said, "I'm sorry, I can't." Amara hung up the phone and whispered, "Nobody wants to help me, Mama." Her mother sighed deeply. "This is why you must treat people well. The friends you push away may not come back when you need them." "I'll be fine," Amara said weakly. "Go and look for the herbs." Her mother kissed her forehead and left. Days passed, then weeks. Nothing changed. Amara could not walk. She cried many nights, her tears soaking her pillow. Sometimes her mother cried with her. Sometimes they sat together in silence, their hearts heavy. Amara spent her savings on medicines, injections, and healers. Nothing worked. Her purse became empty. For the first time in years, Amara knelt by her bed and prayed. "God, I don't know if you hear me. I don't know if you care, but I am tired. Please help me." Her voice broke. Her tears fell, but the room stayed silent. It felt like God was far away. One hot afternoon, Mama Amara walked along a dusty road, carrying a basket. Her face was tired, her feet slow. She had been searching for help everywhere. Suddenly, a pastor who was passing by stopped and called her. "Woman," he shouted, "wait." She turned, surprised. The pastor walked closer and looked into her eyes. "You have a sick child at home. God sent me to your family. Take me to the child." Mama Amara's eyes filled with tears. She dropped her basket and whispered, "Thank you, Lord. You have remembered me." She led the pastor to her house. When they entered, Amara was lying on the bed, her face wet with tears. She quickly wiped her eyes and greeted them. "Good afternoon, sir." The pastor looked at her seriously. "Young woman, this is where your stubbornness has brought you. God told me you fought with someone. Who was it?" Amara's lips trembled. She nodded slowly. "The masquerade," she said. Her mother gasped. "What, Amara? You fought a masquerade? How could you? No wonder nobody could explain your sickness." Amara looked down, ashamed. The pastor lifted his hand. "It is not too late. God's mercy is bigger than any mistake." He began to pray loudly. "In the name of Jesus, every power holding this child, release her now." He prayed and prayed until sweat ran down his face. Then he stopped suddenly, breathing deeply. "My work is done," he said. "The rest is between her and God." And he left. That night, Amara fell into a deep sleep. She found herself standing in a dark forest. The wind howled, leaves rustled. Suddenly, the masquerade she had fought in the village appeared in front of her. Its mask glowed, and its cane shone like fire. Amara's knees shook. She fell down and cried, "Please, forgive me. I was proud. I was rude. I did not respect what I did not understand. I am sorry." The masquerade stood still. Then, a voice echoed all around her, soft but powerful. "You are now free." Light filled the forest. The masquerade vanished. Amara gasped and woke up. She sat up. Her heart pounded. Slowly, she swung her legs to the side of the bed. She placed her feet on the floor, and for the first time in months she stood. She screamed, "Mama! Mama! I can walk! I'm free!" Her mother ran in, her wrapper loose, her eyes wide. When she saw her daughter standing, she fell to her knees and shouted, "Thank you, God! My daughter is healed." They hugged, both crying and laughing at the same time. From that day, Amara changed. Her heart softened. She began to treat people kindly. She spoke gently. She listened. She helped. The proud, rude Amara was gone. And that was how Amara became a nice person. Lessons learned from Amara's story. Pride destroys. Amara was smart and beautiful, but her pride made people run away from her. Pride made her lose friends, lose opportunities, and even fall into danger. Pride may feel powerful for a moment, but it always leads to trouble. Respect people and their ways. Amara laughed at the villagers and insulted their customs. She did not greet elders. She thought she was better than them. But in the end, the very things she mocked became her lesson. We must learn to respect other people's ways, even if they are different from ours. Disobedience has consequences. Many people warned Amara about the dangers of the stream at night, but she refused to listen. Disobedience may feel bold, but it brings pain. Listening to advice can save us from harm. True friends are made through kindness. When Amara needed help, her friends turned their backs on her. Why? Because she was never kind to them. Friendship is like a seed. You must water it with love and respect. If you don't, you will be alone when you need people the most. God is merciful. Even when everyone gave up, God sent a pastor to show the way. Amara was forgiven after she humbled herself. No matter how far we have gone, God's mercy can still reach us if we turn back and ask. Change is possible. At the end, Amara changed. She became kind. She learned from her mistakes. This shows that no one is too bad to change. It is never too late to become a better person. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more interesting content.